If you fail to match the force vector and your hip alignment is on the verge of breaking, it might be time to face the other direction in order to hopefully turn back with all your parts facing the right way. The Granby Roll is a movement adapted from wrestling. We can make further distinctions to describe subtleties and technical aspects, as well as timing, and say there are three types of Granby rolls. The one you typically see in the sport of wrestling is a full Granby, usually from a standing position, which we will introduce when showing escapes in your sophomore year. The Granby rolls we typically see in submission grappling can be better described as half Granby rolls, but we will get lazy and just refer to the guard retention, jiu-jitsu movement as a Granby. It is sometimes frowned upon as a guard retention movement because it can expose your back. Rather than first describe how to do it properly, let's list the ways in which people mess this up. Most people start the Granby off poorly, which compounds everything along the way. They fold one leg over the other in an attempt to slink their back up as a shield, but in doing so twist their spine. They also begin or stay stuck on their knees. If they manage to be off their knees, their legs are often narrow and elongated as well as their spine, which makes it very easy to just collapse the emerging Granby. Their face is also buried into the floor, making the head stuck, and their arm that is free is not there to frame. If they get to the rolling phase, people often float the roll so both feet are off the mat for an extended amount of time. It is not supposed to be a shoulder-to-shoulder roll. That's a full Granby where the opponent's weight distribution is different. A full Granby done at the wrong time actually helps the passer steer you. And because the head started off already buried into the floor, you end up rolling on your neck when faced with realistic pressure, leading to possible injuries and a pass guard. And hate for Granby rolls, understandably so. The Granby roll you see here is nearly correct. It just needs one slight adjustment, and I don't know what the hell is going on with this one here. It isn't even remotely correct. So let's try and fix these problems. First off, you should be swinging both legs to the side with both knees tucked to your chest. The balls of your feet need to then find contact with the floor so you can pop up with strong muscular force to displace any weight coming downwards. This way your knees are off the mat. You should have a wide base with your legs further up than you think and slightly bent knees. From this position, you can begin to frame with your elbow or a stiff arm as you walk or more accurately run into your opponent with your butt while targeting the potentially shifting force of your opponent. In other words, you need to get your ass to wherever the bulk of your opponent's mass is, and this is often their chest. This running into them is often in an arc as they tend to try to go around you. In order to run, you will have to have your head off the mat. Your shoulder will act as the third point of contact that you should be able to slide on as your legs generate force to move. The completion of the half Granby roll occurs with the inside leg traveling in a controlled arc. You should have a partner test this properly by pinning your legs straight down. As you run and force your leg into a controlled arc, it will access the lever to the passer's shoulder, so it will have difficulty pinning you. If you simply float the roll, you'll just end up stacked at your ankles or collapse on your side if you lack the flexibility. There are a couple further details as well. As you look to control this arc, your other foot should remain in contact with the ground for as long as possible, or you won't have control. Also, as the leg is about to reach the peak of its arc, you can extend your back towards your opponent so your butt pushes them further back. While this might not successfully displace them all that much, it does provide a contact anchor point for your chest to open and then your upper back to slide to complete the movement and release the tension. Note how the neck isn't curved and the force successfully dissipated. This is admittedly a very detail-orientated movement that requires a lot of practice. If you have short legs, you will often find yourself unable to keep strong dynamic passers at your outer walls. A great deal of time will be spent slipping in bottom and top knee shields with strong stiff arms. But as these get broken down, a solid half Granby roll is a crucial resetting tool to rebuild your walls. A bonus simpler Granby roll is a reverse half Granby. This time you are performing an inside roll and not exposing your back. This can be seen here demonstrated from a Z-guard getting broken down by a leg weave pressure pass.